Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, the place for bosses and business owners who want to show up consistently, creatively, and most importantly, through their content. So you may or may not have noticed that in the last couple of weeks, I have hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. And as of recording this video, I'm at about 1,040 subscribers. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody who is here, has been here, who's left a comment, who's liked a video, and who has subscribed to the channel. It means more to me than you could possibly know because I've put my heart and soul into building this YouTube channel for you to help you with your business, with your social media, and with your content. Because I have hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, I thought I would change things up a little bit this week and give you a video about the lessons that I've learned in getting to that 1,000 subscriber milestone. It took me about 18 months to get here, and it could have taken me a lot less time if I'm completely honest with you. So these lessons that I'm going to share with you are particularly for those of you who are looking to build out your YouTube channel and want to know how to build it quickly and well. So I'm going to share with you 11 things that I have learned through my time, and some of those things I'm going to be putting into practice moving forward and are things that I've learned in retrospect. Other lessons that I'm sharing with you are things that I learned along the way, and I've already changed them up, and I want to share that wisdom with you. So that being said, we've got 11 lessons to get through, so let's dive in. Okay, so my first lesson that I want to share with you is that if you are going to grow out a YouTube channel, you need to be consistent. I bang on about consistency all the time on every single platform that I'm on, and there is a reason for it. It is extraordinarily important to your success as a business, as a brand, as a personal brand, because it builds trust. If your audience can't trust you to just simply show up with your free content, how can they trust you with your paid? Now, if I'm completely honest with you, this used to really devastate me to my core because I have actually really struggled with consistency on this channel. In fact, I think the last time I put out a video was 2 weeks ago now. It used to really get me down because I know how important consistency is, and it's one of the things that I actually do for my clients in order for them to be able to show up for their audience. I essentially help them be front facing all the time. I'm consistent for them. And as I said, consistency builds trust. So it's incredibly important. And the reason why I got down on myself is because I'm like, I'm not even consistent for myself, right? But I had to flip that thinking on its head because my business has been around for 5 years. So it's relatively young, and it's really only in the last 12 months that I've brought on team members and looked at scaling. So in that time, I've done everything from the client work right through to all of the filming and the editing and the distribution and the emailing and every possible thing that you can think of in a business, I've had to do and wear the hat for. So I've also had to give myself grace in this process that when client work ramps up, when I have more clients than I can handle, things like this, they just have to be the thing that I let go because they are so time consuming. Now, I'm in the unique position where I have a video editor now, shout out to Jared, and I'm able to palm this off. So really the time for me is in the planning, the research, the filming, and the getting it done so that I can hand it off to my editor. If you are not in that position to be able to do that, that's okay. I would suggest finding a frequency for you that you are able to handle that allows you to be consistent, but it doesn't have to be weekly. And I wish I'd understood that earlier. So consistency, yes, but if you can't be every single week, then pull back on the frequency, right? So then you're still able to be consistent and deliver on what you promised. Maybe you just don't show up as regularly. So I really want to emphasize to you that consistency is really important, but frequency is going to be the differentiator. Some people are going to be able to do weekly, some people are going to be able to do twice a week, some people monthly, some people fortnightly, but you need to find the cadence that works for you and in your workflow. And if you are building a business, then you need to try some things out and really find where it suits you, because I know as my business has gotten busier, things like this have become a lot harder. And then that being said, even with COVID and, you know, changing workspaces and things like that, I just don't have the luxury of having this set up all the time and being able to jump in front of the camera. Do what you can to be consistent. The other thing that I want to say on consistency is that I would have got to 1,000 subscribers so much faster than I did had I been consistent, because every single time that I put out a video, not only do my views go up, but my subscribers spike and peak. So I'll get, you know, 10 new subscribers on any given day, as opposed to one trickling in every now and then. So the more consistent you are, the more opportunity that you have to be visible and be served to the right audience, and therefore more opportunity to have people subscribe to your channel. The other point I want to make about consistency is that when I wasn't consistent with these videos, my email list suffered. So I'm able to email my list on a weekly basis because I create these videos. I have free value to give them. So when I fall off the bandwagon with these videos, I then feel like I don't have anything to give them of value for free. So it stops me from emailing them and ultimately interrupts my selling flow, my interactional workflow with my clients and with people on my email list. And it just disrupts that whole cycle of trust. So again, figure out your frequency and then be consistent within that. My second lesson for you is research, SEO, and optimization are an incredibly big part of the YouTube pie. So what I would recommend is learning how to do those three things really, really well, because they're going to skyrocket your success and allow you to build your channel a lot faster than stubbing in the dark and guessing. I don't want to be someone who ever scares anyone off from doing anything, but I would honestly say that if you don't know how to do those things, then I would really consider whether or not YouTube is for you. And if you really, really want to do it, go and learn how to do it. Without those three pieces, you will be putting in so much effort that could have made a bigger impact, gotten further and reached more people had you known how to do the research, SEO and optimization part of the process. And I'll cap this one off by saying the faster that you understand how to do those three things, the faster that your YouTube channel will grow. My third lesson for you is that thumbnails are really, 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 really important. Almost as important as the video itself, because if your thumbnail isn't compelling, then people won't click through to the actual content. So you can see how there's that balance there within making a really good thumbnail and a really good video. The other part of the thumbnail lesson that I'd like to give to you is that more and more for me, the balance with thumbnails has become, how do I stand out from the videos that I'm trying to rank against or with, and how do I stay on brand? And that balance will only come as you do more and as you learn and iterate on that. So I think nobody ever has it fully down, and it's always something that you see people changing. And even YouTubers on here that you love and respect, go back into the archives of their early stuff, and provided that the videos are not hidden and they're still there, you can see that thumbnails are an ever evolving process for YouTubers, because we're always trying to land something, we're always trying to make it clickable, and we're always trying to grab your attention. So thumbnails are really, really, really important. My fourth YouTube lesson for you today is going with your gut, or going with my gut. I mean, you just heard me talk about SEO and research and optimization and how incredibly important it is to the channel, and it is. So what I'm about to say sits in juxtaposition to that, because when I learned how to research, SEO and optimize, I kind of went against my gut feelings as well. There were videos I wanted to make, videos I was really interested in making. And because I couldn't hit the right keyword, or because I just felt like I was out of my depth competing against people with really big audiences, I never made those videos. And you know what? If you don't make videos on here that you love making, you will burn out. And I've burnt out many times in that process. So make sure that you are doing a mixture of really well researched and SEO'd and optimized videos, but also making things that make you happy and fulfill you. Because to be quite honest, a lot of those times where we make those videos where we're just scratching an itch, they tend to do the same for other people. So find that balance and learn to go with your gut just as much as you rely on that science element and going with the research, the SEO and the optimized pieces. My fifth lesson in growing a YouTube channel is similar to the last one, and it's all about trusting yourself. So once I realized that there was more of a scripted formula and that there were certain things that you could do to better your chances at being found in the algorithm, I really went hard on that, and I felt like if I didn't do that, I was wrong. If you go back to my very early videos, which are actually on this channel, I started those videos on Facebook, so I actually re-uploaded them to YouTube at a later stage. But you can see that there's a lot more personality in those videos. I mean, to be fair, I look back at them and cringe because I talk slower, my energy isn't as high, but you can definitely see my personality a lot more in them. That's something that I've only really learned in retrospect, and moving forward, I want to do more creative videos. I want to have those moments where I say those sarcastic things and I really just let you know what's going on in my head. I do a lot of self-editing now. Before it even hits the camera, I've already decided whether or not I'm going to make that joke or say that thing. And so while these are highly educational and polished, and I'm hoping that you get tons of value out of it, I want to share my personality more and more, because at the end of the day, everybody I love on YouTube and really anywhere shares their personality. They are themselves. They don't hold back. And anybody who knows me well knows that I'm sarcastic and making little comments all the time and a little bit witty and a little bit stupid, and I laugh a lot, and when I start laughing I don't stop laughing, and I really want to share those moments with you. I also have moments where I'm highly creative and I want to go and do something more than just stand in front of a camera. Moving forward, we've already had these discussions within the team that I want to be doing more of that type of thing. So that's something I want you to take away from this. Don't be afraid to be yourself and lean into your own personality. And if you're quieter and you're more shy, or you love data, or you're, you have a certain way about you, lean into that. Don't be shy about it. You don't have to be somebody else. You don't have to be on. You don't have to follow a formula. But as long as your videos have value, you be you. Okay, my sixth lesson for you is that YouTube is the greatest email list builder. The end of story, period, full stop, done. If you want to grow an email list, YouTube is hands down the best thing I've ever done for that, and I highly recommend it for you. Now, in addition to that, I will say, as something that I've learned and I'm passing on to you as a suggestion, I've given away a lot of freebies on this channel, and they'll continue to perpetuate for a lifetime, I imagine. That being said, having watched a lot of the YouTubers my daughter watches on YouTube, they interrupt themselves with mid-roll ads and they say, go and buy my stuff, go and do this, go and do that. And to be quite honest, I've really shifted in my mindset of freebies lately, and I would rather offer something that is of high value and can be paid for than continuing to offer freebies so that they sit in your inbox and never get used. So that's something that I'm going to experiment with over the next 12 months, creating my own ads, inserting them. Of course, I'll give away my free stuff still, and I'll probably continue to create free stuff, but I also want to experiment with that idea of going, you know what, I've created this incredible thing for you for social media or content creation, and it's for sale. So why not buy it? So I'll report back on that when I hit 10,000 subscribers maybe, and let you know how that went for me. But that's definitely something that I've learned from doing this, that people do take action, people do want help. And if you're looking to build your email list, YouTube is incredible for that. My 7th lesson for you is that videos take a lot of time. I don't want to make any bones about that. I have made videos before saying, you know, it's not hard, you can do it yourself. And that's true. I never lied about that, but at the end of the day, they are time consuming. You have to figure out what you're going to say. And depending on who you are and how easily that comes to you, that can be the biggest roadblock for some people. That can take hours. I hate the idea of sitting down and creating bullet pointed lists or scripts, although I never script. I do tend to write things out, and that is sometimes my biggest roadblock to getting on camera. So you have to do that, then you have to film it, then you have to edit it, then you have to cut it up, distribute it, make sure you're adequately promoting it everywhere, then you need to write an email, put it in the email. And honestly, the distribution's the easiest part, certainly for me, because social media is my job, so I'm very used to it. But creating video takes a lot of time, and you have to be prepared for that. It is a commitment. Doing YouTube is a commitment not to be taken lightly. That being said, if you do commit to it, it makes social media everywhere else so much easier, because you've got teasers that you can pop out, you've got thumbnails that you can repurpose, depending on your ability to edit, you've got little pockets of videos that you can pull out here and there and put everywhere else to draw people back to the YouTube video itself, or simply to be its own standalone piece of content. All I'm saying is there is fodder for days if you take the time to do this one big piece of content. So there is a huge, huge, huge upside to the commitment to creating weekly video, fortnightly video, monthly video, whatever your frequency is. I'll just add to that, the reason why that's actually a lesson is because I already knew that video took a lot of time, but even though I now have someone editing it for me, I've realized that the time for me doesn't necessarily come from the camera part, the editing part, the distribution. For me, it's all in the pre-work. And so understanding what part of the process is a roadblock for you is really good to know, because then that will shorten the time, and that's something that I've only learned in retrospect. So if I can just put pen to paper, the chances of me getting in front of the camera are so much greater. So understanding they take time, but also understanding what it is for you that takes time. If it's the editing, outsource it to somebody on Fiverr, get someone into your team, get a VA, get somebody with that skill to be able to do, you know, a good enough job for you, because there are so many people out there who can do that. So that is why understanding that video takes time is a lesson, because duh, we all know that, but understanding the roadblock for you is what's key. Lesson 8 for you in your road to 1,000 subscribers is that distribution is everything. So what I mean by that is most people put all the effort into this part, but then they forget that the 48 hours after you put it on YouTube is the most important time. So you need to be putting that out on Twitter, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, Facebook, your Facebook group, emailing your list. Everywhere you can put it, do it and do it again. Find a new way to put out the same information so that people who didn't see it the first time, people who weren't interested the first time, people who would rather see a thumbnail than a video, or read a long blog post than listen to audio or a video. You're going to capture as many people as you can with a wider net, right? Distribution is so important. In fact, it's probably 80% of it, really. 20% is creating it. Distribution is the other 80%. And don't forget, especially if you run a Twitter feed or you're on Instagram stories all the time, there's no reason why you can't pull up an older video and send people back to that older video for whatever reason. Yes, the most important thing is to get most eyeballs on that new video in the first 48 hours, but you know what? If you're having a tough content week, pull out an old video and redirect people back to that, because it's of value and they need to see it, and they probably haven't seen it, especially if your other audiences is still growing. They may not have seen all that earlier content you put out. I'll be honest with you, I've always been relatively good at distributing the content because it's my job, but I got even better at it the closer I got to that 1,000 mark, because I started getting more creative with how I put it out there, and I started to be really consistent with putting it everywhere and not just promoting it once, but promoting it multiple times. So that's probably just a muscle that's going to take practice for you. My 9th lesson learned for you, and 9 is my favorite number, so let's just say this is my favorite lesson, is that once it's on YouTube, it's an evergreen asset, which holds massive value. If you can create really meaty videos about frequently asked questions from your clients, or things that people are always asking you in groups, or questions you always see, you can now go and create videos for this, and now they're housed forever on YouTube. And when you're in Facebook groups, or you get emails, people email through your contact form and ask these questions, clients ask these questions, you just go and grab that URL and you say, look, here's something I prepared earlier. And it's absolutely excellent to position you as an expert, but also to just have the information there and you don't have to repeat yourself. So those evergreen assets are super, super helpful and important, and they will serve you for a long time into the future. The amount of people that I have been exposed to in Facebook groups because they've asked a question and I've been able to just pop in the video that I made once upon a time about that, like how to create Instagram highlight covers, has been phenomenal. So don't underestimate the value of having that evergreen asset and being able to use it into the future. My 10th lesson for you is something that I've talked about before, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a different twist on it. And that is to batch your content. Now, I've always recommended doing a month in advance, so doing 4 videos. However, I have found myself over time that I really struggle to do more than 2 or 3. So moving forward, that's how I'm gonna batch. And the reason why I think this is really important is because it will help your mental health. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is there are some videos that take us 20 to 40 hours to create altogether, because of the amount of effort that we put in the research, the SEO, the optimization, the filming, the editing, the screen sharing, the planning of it. There's just so many moving parts, and we put so much energy into it, and we think this one is going to go viral, this one's going to be amazing, right? And you do it and there's absolute crickets, and it's so disheartening if you don't already have the next piece of content ready to go or in the making of, right? So if I record this and I think this is going to be amazing, and then I also record another one straight after it, and we've already got those on the go, then if this one bombs, a week goes by so fast, I'm already thinking about the next one and how to make that excellent, right? So it just allows you not to get stuck in the moment and to have to go and try and create content straight after something has bombed, because you've already created the next piece, right? And now you have something to look forward to, and you have somewhere to invest your energy into immediately. You can take the emotion out of the other one bombing. You can just not deal with it. You go, it is what it is, and that's all it is. And then you can put that emotion and that energy into the next piece of content because you've already done it. And that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and you learn to accept it faster by batching the content in advance, right? So take that one to the bank. I promise you it will give you sanity. And my last lesson for you is, if you want to build this channel, you need to be one-eyed about it. So I didn't really realize this until probably a month or 2 ago. And I realized, hang on, if I drive everybody to the YouTube channel, it's gonna build faster. If that's where I put the most effort, if that's where I put every call to action, if that's where every client who comes to me can go. People have asked me, how do I do this? And I've gone and created videos for them and just put them unlisted on my channel. And I just say, look, I quickly made you this 1-minute thing, go there. It's allowed me to actually build up my subscribership that way, because it becomes the only place I send people, right? Because I know it still builds my list, but it becomes the place that I send people. So when they buy into me, then eventually they buy into my list. And I don't mean buy, I just mean, you know, when they trust me enough, they'll sign up to my list. They'll find me in other places because I promote my Instagram on this channel, and that's the other channel that's really important to me. My best ranking video on this particular account is my LinkedIn video. So that's building my LinkedIn like nothing else. The value of me sending everyone here is massive for me, and I've become really one-eyed about that, and I've started to pass that wisdom on to my clients because I manage a number of YouTube channels as well. So become one-eyed about it. Don't tell people to go to your Facebook group or your Facebook page. You can do that in other ways. So I have a Facebook group, but for the most part, I send people to that either at the end of these videos, or the people who sign up to my email list, I have that as a call to action in my emails as well. But everyone, everywhere who comes to me from any place, I'm like, go and check out my YouTube channel. That's probably a really big one for you if you want to build your YouTube channel fast. So they were my 11 lessons from going from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in 18 months. I hope that they will help you. I hope you didn't find them generic. Some of them you're gonna hear in other places because they are just simple truth. Others are things that I have learned by working it out the hard way. So if you love the content that I'm putting out, make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you want other deeper dives into content like this, I have a Facebook group, which is in the description below. Make sure you come and join me there. Answer the questions when you come to the group so that I can know how to help you best. We have a live stream every Monday, I think it is at the moment, in the group, and those videos are time sensitive. I leave them up for a month, I take them down. So if you want the goods, you need to go there and get the goods, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye-bye.